My name is Ellen White, and I wrote a book called Simply Irresistible. The subtitle is Unleash Your Inner Siren and Mesmerize Men with Lessons from some of the most famous and infamous women in history, and the lessons they can teach us about love. And it's everyone from Cleopatra to Jackie Onassis to Angelina Jolie. Each woman represents a lesson in love that we can all learn. But the point is that everyone can be a siren. They have to know what kind of siren they are. And there are 5 different kinds of sirens in my book, and you are one of those. You're either a competitor, a companion, a mother, a sex kitten, or a goddess. Each siren is different, but there's some qualities they have in common. There's 3 of them, basically. Each siren is incredibly confident in her own allure. She doesn't look for approval from men. She just assumes that she's irresistible. And that very fact is a draw. The other thing that sirens have is they all love men. They all celebrate men, is what I say. They don't want to be a man, but they think men are wonderful. And the third thing is that they embrace life. Sirens aren't whiners, they're doers. No matter how small or large their life is, they make the most of it. They have this kind of inner vitality. And those 3 qualities, if you start with those 3 qualities, you have what it takes. You can read the book as a how-to, but you can also read it as a bunch of really fun history lessons on women. But the history lessons are really accessible. They're not ponderous lessons of history on women. They are really fun, the great stories that they're famous for. Did Catherine the Great, for instance, die making love to her horse? Well, wouldn't we like to know that? I chose the women in a number of ways. Sometimes I was curious about their personal history. Catherine the Great, for instance, or Cleopatra. I was curious about what made them so irresistible. Who were they? Who were they in their time? Other times I chose women because I had read about them and I realized they represented a really important lesson in love. For instance, it's very sexy to make a man laugh. It's very sexy to be smart. Sexual know-how is sexy. Well, certain women represent these lessons. Nigella Lawson, for instance, represents food. A way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Those kinds of lessons, I found specific women to represent them because they were so good at what they did. A prime example of one of these women is Cleopatra, and she represents making an indelible first impression. If ever there was a woman that knew how to make an entrance, it was Cleopatra. She had herself rolled up in a rug and delivered to Caesar. She took a barge up the Nile to meet Mark Antony, and she was irresistible just because she thought she was. I spent 6 years looking at these women, and they truly are irresistible, wonderful women. And if you're looking to become a siren, if you are a siren and you need a refresher course, if you just want a bunch of entertaining stories about some of the most interesting women in history, this really is the book to read.